Right, let's talk about something that comes up in pretty much every conversation I have at the moment: housing affordability. Because if you're sat there thinking, how the hell are people still buying houses? Then you're not alone. So I was looking through the latest nationwide affordability report, and honestly, it paints a really interesting picture. Not just houses are expensive, we know that, but where, why, and what that actually means for real people. And here's the thing: affordability isn't just about house prices. It's about the relationship between house prices, wages, and interest rates. And when those three things fall out of sync, that's when things start to feel tight. Which, let's be honest, is exactly where we are right now. Because over the last few years, what's happened? Rates have shot up, the cost of living shot up, but wages didn't quite keep pace. So even if house prices haven't gone crazy recently, they're still sitting on top of years of growth. And this is where it gets interesting, because the nationwide report basically shows the UK isn't one housing market, it's loads of little ones. You've got areas where affordability stretched the absolute limit. Think parts of London and the South East, where even people on decent incomes are struggling to make the numbers work. And then you've got other areas. And this is where it gets relevant to a lot of people that I speak to. Places like the Midlands and the North, where affordability is better, but still not what it used to be. And that's the key point. Even in affordable areas, it's not easy anymore. Because years ago, you might have been borrowing 3, maybe 4 times income. Now you're pushing affordability limits at higher rates. And the monthly payments are doing most of the heavy lifting. And that's where people really feel it. Not the headline price, the monthly cost. Because let's be real, no one sits there thinking, I'm comfortable because the house price is reasonable. They think, can I afford this every month without stressing? And right now, that monthly figure is the thing that's changed the most. Now, here's where people get caught out. They assume affordability is just about, can I get the mortgage? But actually, there's two sides to it. There's lender affordability, and then there's real life affordability. Because a lender might say, yeah, you can borrow that, but that doesn't always mean you should. And this is where advice really matters, because what you can do and what makes sense for your lifestyle, they're not always the same thing. Now, the report also highlights something else that's really important. First-time buyers. Because they're the ones feeling this the most. They haven't got equity. They're dealing with rent, saving for a deposit, and then trying to jump into a market where rates are higher than they've been for years. So what happens? They either delay, compromise on property, or get help, family, mortgage schemes, etc. And we're seeing a lot more of that. More family support, more creative solutions from lenders, and more people saying, right, what's realistic for me, not just what I originally wanted. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a different market. Now, here's the bit most headlines don't talk about. Affordability isn't static. It moves. Rates change, affordability changes. Wages change, affordability changes. House price shift, affordability changes. So when people say, I'll just wait until things get better, better depends on what moves. Because if rates drop, great. But if prices rise at the same time, then you're back where you started. And this is why timing the market is, let's be honest, a bit of a gamble. The smarter approach is understanding your position now. What can you do? What your options look like, and how to structure things properly. Because even in a tougher affordability environment, there are still ways to make things work. Different lenders look at income differently. Some are better for self-employed. Some are more flexible on affordability. Some just fit certain situations better than others. And this is what most people don't see. They look at the market as one thing. But behind the scenes, it's dozens of lenders all doing things slightly differently. And that's where opportunities come from. So when you hear housing isn't affordable anymore, it's not completely true. It's less affordable than it was, yes. It's more complex than it was. But it's not impossible. It just requires a bit more planning and a bit more awareness. And honestly, a bit more guidance than people used to need. Because the days of just walking into your bank and grabbing whatever rate they offer, those days are kind of gone. Now it's about getting the structure right, choosing the right lender, making sure it fits your life, not just the spreadsheet. And if you get that right, even in this market, you can still make it work. So if you're sat there thinking, is now the right time? The better question is, what does my situation look like right now? because that's what actually determines affordability, not just the headlines. And if you want to understand that properly, what you can do, what your options are, and how it all fits together, just drop me a message. No pressure, just a proper conversation. I'm Patrick Weightman, your local East Midlands mortgage and protection advisor, serving clients up and down the UK. Drop me a like and a follow, hit the links in my bio to get in touch. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.